Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Lunchtime Special Podcast, Hit and Run, hosted by your two favorite heavy hitters, Ronan and Fearless. This is where real talk meets real life as these two powerhouses break down the latest in entertainment, travel, relationships, and finance. You know it's going to be raw, unfiltered, and straight up blunt. When these two get together, you better believe truth bombs are dropping and bars are being laid down. So grab your lunch, settle in, and get ready for 60 minutes of pure fire storytelling and hard-hitting insight on the events of today from their point of view. Buckle up, folks, sit down and grab your lunch. It's about to get real.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a motherfucking slave.
I think she woke up as a slave today, baby. She woke up as a slave.
That's crazy.
Hey, bruh. Recently, where did I put that at? Oh, man, did I upload it? That I didn't. Let me grab it. So what y'all think, man? Was a long night, great night.
Jesus Christ, it was a long day.
I mean, guys, I didn't know you guys were up to 4 a.m. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We were waiting for the results. You know, they didn't
you
call.
Wake up all bright and chipper. Hey, let's do a nooner. What? Pause.
You know what? I woke up. Wife telling me that Trump won. I'm like, oh, he did. Like, okay. I didn't know. I went to sleep, man. I was tired.
Yeah, boy. Hey, we already know. We discussed this last night. We already know who's going to get blamed for this. All the smoke is going to come one direction.
Yeah. But you know what? I was disappointed, man. One thing I was disappointed in, and I think I'm going to let this lady play this. She does a good job.
I am so disappointed and really insulted. I'm a Howard alum, and that she didn't have the decency to walk out and say something to her, you know, to her university, make a comment to the United States. Things were not looking well for her. It wasn't completely over, but short of a miracle, we knew which way this was going. And that she didn't have some grace. I mean, it shows us how classless she actually is, a sore loser. And even though it's painful for her, for the Democrats, I think America might be relieved at recognizing and realizing they don't have to put up with this any longer. And if this is what they were walking into, maybe it's better that it gets, you know, cut at the nip right now.
What?
That's a woman saying that.
Ain't
Woman
so.
is saying how upset she was because she ran off. And then you know what had to happen? When Trump, you know, usually there's a concession. What is it? A concessionary call
speech. Yes, where they bow out and say you know, it was a good run, but we all need to kind of like go ahead and support the new incumbent president.
Yeah, and what really happened, it was so ridiculous, man. That Trump was in there and he said, you know, I'm going to call and I'm going to do that. And then Trump made a call. Let's hear what happened.
What? I wasn't sleeping.
Hey, Joe, it's Donnie. I just wanted to call and see if we could make amends. You want to go get a pizza?
Oh, I love pizza. You really want to get a pizza with me, Donnie?
Yeah, a pizza D's not stupid. Get out of my office.
Oh, that is so wrong, bro. That is so wrong.
He called him and said, get the piece of these nuts, get out my office. Yeah, now I will admit that with old Krusty, okay, you are correct that there was a concession speech that Trump never gave. But I think during that time, nobody knew the night of who won, and it was still going on because it was Arizona, there was all of that. But you are correct when, well, I don't think Trump ever conceded. He still was playing.
I have to say this. I can understand the rudeness of Donald Trump because that's who he is. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, has come up through political ranks from state, city government to federal levels. She understands tradition and decorum. There is no excuse for not giving a concession speech, thanking the people that supported you during the race and helped run your campaign. None of that was done last night. It is inexcusable behavior as somebody that's supposed to be a political leader and has so many people backing her with money and all the resources that was given to her for her not to say anything at all and dismiss the crowd that came out to support her. There is no excuse for that.
That's ridiculous. But they're gonna blame men. But let me tell you how some of the women feel. So we heard one black woman saying that was ridiculous. Let's hear some other ones.
On a female president.
Why not?
Look at what feminism has done to our families. You just talking about men no longer in the family. Yeah, because women are all strong and manly, feeling like they don't need a man no more. How? When they done broke down their sons and got their sons around here talking about they want to be women. The man need to be back in the home.
But why did the men leave? They're spineless.
Yeah.
So you believe that?
I'm voting for
She
Trump
believes
and
that
RFK.
women can't run the country.
No, they can't. Women can barely run their house.
Ooh, you hear that?
Yeah.
In the
Get
comments.
mad about it. I don't care. It's the honest to God truth.
Oh,
I've raised 5 children. If it takes a man and a woman to make a baby, right? Because
Okay.
women don't get pregnant on their own.
Okay.
Then obviously some should tell us that it should take a man and a woman to balance that child out, to raise that child.
Right.
That child needs half, 50-50, right?
Right, sure.
So we've messed up somewhere along the line.
Many men have
and
left.
are we blaming men for leaving?
Well,
I mean, if
some reasons there
hold
are.
on, but if I'm a woman, I'm liberated by freedom of choice, right? If I don't want the baby, I get to kill the baby, right? And I get praised for it. But if a man don't want a baby and he walk away, then all of a sudden he a dead.
Ain't nobody praising nobody
All
getting
of a
abortion.
sudden, wait a minute, hold on. No, they are. No, they are.
Where?
They're advocating for. They shouting out their abortion.
No,
Look
they-
up Oprah Winfrey.
No, they
Shout
got
out
the
your
right to do it.
abortion, and they paying for it. But if a man doesn't want the baby, then he a deadbeat, or you good to go lock him up, put him in jail, drag him every month with a child abandonment warrant. The government makes him.
Hey, I might have to agree with her on that. Might have to agree with her on that. What y'all think?
I totally agree with her. She's hitting all points on holding women accountable for some of the situations that are going on here in America. And unfortunately, you got a brother sitting there almost simping for the women yet again, trying to give them some grace in their mistakes.
Yeah, it's just not a good look overall. Shout out to HB Gone Global. Shout out to Old Krusty for an amazing dialogue. Last night or this morning. But I think it's just not a good look for Kamala to not come out and talk to her audience. Like, you let them hanging, and that gives me a general idea of the type of person you are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is true. But we also got to say what kind of person Trump was. He did the same. He did the same. Let's throw up this graph. Let's see what we got here.
So this graph was done by the Associated Press, and this is based off of the statistics from last night's voting on the participation levels based off of sex, race, and age group. The bright yellow is Harris. The dark orange is Trump. And as you can see, it's not the black man's fault that they did not vote for Kamala.
Wow.
You see that chart? Do you see where it says black?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see where it says men? It's not our fault.
So we only got maybe that's about 10-12% of the black men that voted for Trump. And I don't think that would have made a difference in this race.
Nope.
This would not have made a difference.
No. And as you can see, the overwhelming percentage of all black people voted for who? Even if the percentage is skewed on men, because that's overall all men.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: if women were so concerned about their rights to abortion and health care rights, look at the chart where it says women. More white or women voted for Trump than they did for Kamala. That says volumes.
Mm-hmm. Man, and so it wasn't us, as they say. It wasn't us.
No, but if you let social media tell it, I mean, just this morning I was watching Roland, Big Head Roland. I mean, not this Roland, but the other one. I mean,
Roland Martin.
Yeah, he was basically throwing black men underneath the bus, man. Like literally, Like his whole segment is like, hey, we created this problem. Now it's our shit show. And black men should take accountability for that. Like that's his whole entire platform. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Of course, it's going to make him money
Well, that's how it
because
is.
he's gonna simp and pander to women, and he's going to take the blame like most pandering black men do in our community, and basically say, yeah, it's our fault, when we just showed you statistically we had nothing to do with this. You know,
The crazy
if
thing
anything, the
is,
women had everything to do with it, because there's a lot of women that could have voted for Kamala and they did not. And I got an 80-year-old mother that didn't.
the crazy thing is, if Roland is talking like that, that means they still have not recognized the problem. They still have not recognized the problem. It's just like what happened, back when it was the Republicans. When the Republicans weren't doing what they needed to do and they kept losing, they didn't recognize the problem. So if they don't recognize the problem, this will carry on to the midterm election, and possibly that vice president that Trump got will be president. So
Democrats better get their heads together and find a good candidate to run against this dude when he gets done.
Correct. And the policies. I mean, we have strayed so far away. I mean, when you put somebody on and you just try to say, what is a man? And we go through this she, they, them, all of these acronyms, and we can't define what we are or where we're going. It becomes ridiculous. The rights of men, like the woman said, a woman has every right. When a man wants to do something, he has no rights. And Ozzy, I think that has already happened. You're saying it is going to happen.
On last night or something like that. I don't know.
Blaming men.
Don't say her name now.
No, I can't.
You're gonna be paying a fine.
I can't lose that money. I did not hear what the old Secretary of Treasury said. If you want me to play
He's right here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play him.
I'm heartbroken. Heartbroken and scared, to tell you the truth. I still have faith in America. I know we can do a lot to resist Trump's worst plans. But right now, that's little comfort to the people who are most at risk. Today, millions must now live in fear of being swept up by Trump's cruel mass deportation plan. Documented immigrants, as well as undocumented, and millions of American citizens with undocumented parents or spouses. More Americans now must fear that they'll be forced to give birth or be denied life-saving care during an ectopic pregnancy or miscarriage. Today, America has become less safe for trans people, especially trans kids, who are already at risk of violence and discrimination. Anyone who has already faced prejudice and marginalization is now in greater danger. Trump has also promised to seek revenge against his political opponents. Countless Americans are endangered now on a...
I'm going to let him go. I usually take this background down because it's a little distracting, Roman. But I heard in his speech so far, immigrants, documented immigrants, women. I still have not heard anything to have to do with any of us. This is the reason why they got voted the way they did. So he's talked about who should be scared. Immigrants should be scared. Women should be scared. Nothing to do with, there was nothing that policy for men, but let him cook. Let's see if he finishes out strong.
Scale and intensity almost unheard of in modern America. Our first responsibility is to protect these people and resist these forces. In the days to come, I will have more to say about specifically what we can do to resist the Trump-Vance administration, how we can protect the people in harm's way, and how to preserve and reclaim our democracy. Today, I just say that if you are grieving or frightened, you are not alone. Millions of Americans feel the way you do right now. And together, we will comprise the resistance to the forces of authoritarianism.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a motherfucking slave.
As fuck. Hold on. Let me put this chart back up real quick. Clear that out. Put this chart back up.
I mean, what's up with all this fear mongering, man? This is taking us back to 2020 when he won election the first time. No, not 2020. Was it 20 what 2018?
2016.
2016. The same so-called fear mongering that they were spreading all over social media and the news media is now coming back again. Now people are afraid to and waking up to become slaves or white only restaurants. I mean, where are people getting this shit from? Like
That's
seriously,
crazy.
are we that ignorant to the fact that people think that things like making America great again is going back to the 1920s or maybe the 1800s? I mean, I just don't get it.
Well, let me answer this for old Krusty. So let me put this on. Can I take that chart down?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go over what he said. If they were so scared about these certain things, women who were the ones that helped Trump get into office, you know what I'm saying? And so were Hispanics. If they were so concerned about that, go ahead.
All right. So old Krusty says, question for the panel. What do you think? And I'm gonna share this screen. Give me 1 second. So he says, what do you think has changed for black men, especially black men after last night? And second, if nothing, what do you think happened to black men to change, especially for black males? So let's go over this. What changed? One thing is, who works the most overtime? Men or women?
Men do.
So he's going to end taxation for overtime. Who likes to travel? We call them passport bros. He's going to reduce taxation for Americans living overseas. How did it also help out black men? He said that, let's see if I can get down to his, he's going to let men be called men and get the women out of, the men out of those sports. So let me see if I can find that. Let's see where LGBTQ. Signed legislation banning trans women from participating in women's sports. Signed legislation recognizing only 2 genders at assigned birth. So, when somebody says, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that, yeah, it can't happen. So these are just some of the things that he's going to help out that does affect men. Men that travel, men that work overtime. Like I said before, there's some guys that work overtime, and by the time they get taxed and pay everything, that 40 hours of overtime just gave them $100 extra.
Well, looky here. We have
Promote
comment
movement.
that Ronan, basically the after pill guy that we did the whole live on, that was a non-traveler that wanted to diss black passport bros. He finally gave a response to our criticism yesterday. So we definitely will go check that out, Dan. Thanks for the
yeah.
We were just
definitely
asking
check
about that guy
out.
yesterday.
I mean, look, I understand people without a thinking thought to be in fear that, hey, we're going to go back to the racist America that everyone wants to paint. But this whole fear mongering thing is ridiculous, man. Like all over Facebook, TikTok, black folks are making themselves look like stupid, like saying some dumb shit. Like, oh, we're going to go back to how it was before. And I'm like, how so? Guys, I mean, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
He says, this old crust. He says, tell me you really think this will stop black women from doing that. No, it won't stop black women, but at least puts men in some type of power position again. Because one thing he said is, for instance, mandate that any child identity changes have parental consent. They were just going run amok, man. Where you couldn't, as a parent, you couldn't control your child could go to the doctor and basically have a consent with the doctor, and they're underage. A 13-year-old child, yeah, maybe they can talk to the doctor, but they should not be making any type of medical decisions without that parent, especially for anyone under 18. Uh, Hold up. This is what I don't understand. No taxes for overtime and overseas. You realize a small percentage of people will benefit from that. Why won't it move the needle? It should be the harder I work, the more I get. And so we should be rewarded for working harder, not punished for working hard.
I mean, dude, there's a huge amount of people that work overtime in these companies here, and within the United States. So it's going to benefit a lot of people. It's going to move the needle for a lot of people, especially here.
Correct. Correct.
We
And
keep
so here's
forgetting
the
that people
thing,
still work in
Rusty. It
factories,
is so
and
fewer people. What did Kamala do? She didn't even move the needle. So you say it moved the needle backwards. So I mean, if you can explain to me what she was going to do to move the needle, let me know, because it seems that she wasn't doing
Well,
anything.
it
So
doesn't
do I?
matter what she says she was going to do. She didn't fucking make it. So it don't matter. You can sell all the dreams in the world, but if you don't actually get elected, she couldn't affect a damn thing.
Correct.
And she already had 3 to 4 years to help Biden make those changes if she had his ear.
So all I seen was things that were done for other people besides any type of black man. So I think that when you have lead by example, strong strong person, especially when they say, what a lot of women say, what have we done? We feminize men. We got this what is it? Male toxicity. What do they call it? Toxic male masculinity. All of those things that we've been subjected to, the Me Too movement, all of those things that just try to downgrade. As a man, uh, we can't do anything. There was a guy, he was in Mississippi, a band leader. He was in a store trying to buy a lamp, and a girl opened up her phone and said, "Why are you stalking me?" The dude was like, "I don't even know who you are." Walked away. She put him on blast, and everybody was following. What about, you always see these things where men are working out in gyms. And what do women do? Put up their camera and shame the men for doing nothing. Oh, he walked by the camera. Oh, he looked in her direction. Now all of a sudden he's a creep. He's doing all of this crazy stuff.
I got to share this real quick so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Hold on. When it says racial breakdown here, black voters specifically, Harris achieved 86% support from black voters, with Trump at 12%. Trump's shares remain unchanged from 2020. We did not affect this one way or another. We are not supposed to be taking the blame because they feel butthurt that a black woman did not make it into office. It's not our fault. They can spin it however they want.
correction.
Oh, Krusty, what I do agree with you is this. What I do agree with you is this. We have to hold him accountable. We have to hold him accountable the same way we would hold her accountable.
Stuff like that.
Oh shit! Come on. So we have to hold them both accountable. We can't just say, they helped us vote. He's in the office, and now that's it. You still have to do thin ground roots. But I did play something the other day, and I think you were on, where Ice Cube had his plan for Black America. And when he brought it to the forefront for Kamala and Biden versus Trump, there was only one person that was willing to listen, and that was Trump. Biden and them said, "Oh, wait until after the election." So we waited till after the election, and they still never called him up. So I can't say that they would do something right, but it was something that, hey, at least he did listen. I don't think that he got a free pass the previous time. I think that the news was very relentless and holding him accountable for every step that he made and every decision that he made.
Why do you think they have so many fact checkers now? Because every time he opened his mouth, they fact check the hell out of him. I'm not happy with the situation. Believe me, I'm already planning on leaving. 2024, I'll be in the Philippines. You know, y'all have fun. I mean, sorry, 2025. Did I say?
So here's the thing. Even I say this. I don't think either one of them were great candidates.
Mm-mm.
Neither one of them has our interest in heart. And I hate to say this, but I would hope that sometimes, because what they do is when a white person is in office, they take care of white people. They make sure that if a rich person is in office, he's going to take care of his rich people. They always find a way to take care of their own. And it just seems like when we get in office, we say, hey, we're the president for everybody. When they say like he said, I'm the president for the people who voted for me. That's exactly what he said. I'm the president for red states. Why is it that he can say something like that and look out for his demographics? Yet, when we get in office, we pander and apologize. When they go low, we go high. Hell no. Sometimes you got to go lower than them, because what they do is go low, and that's how they can get gerrymandering. That's how they can. Mitch McConnell can say, hey, if the roles were reversed, I would have waited and never picked the Supreme Court person. Then when the roles were reversed, he said, shit. He gave him the middle finger and said, yeah, I lied. We always think that they always know how to outsmart us, play the rules better, and play to win. We don't. So that's what happens when you don't. That is what happens. I'm gonna bring this. I seen this preacher somebody sent me. I think one of y'all sent me. Let me see what he has to say. So y'all can pause him at any time when he comes up.
That's why I have such deep issue with this Christian nationalist movement saying that America ought to be a Christian nation. Whose Christianity? Do we want the Christianity of the colonizers who used Christianity to justify the eradication of indigenous people? Do we want the Christianity of the misogynists who even now in Project 25 are trying to roll back the 19th Amendment and remove women from the right to vote? Or maybe you want the slave trader Christianity that used Christianity to justify the enslavement and the killing of millions of Africans and declared slaves obey your master. Or maybe you like the Christianity of Bull Connor, a deacon in his church in Alabama, taught Sunday school on Sunday, but on Monday released police dogs on peaceful protesters who are fighting for their right to vote. Or maybe you want the Christianity of Westboro Baptist Church that says God hates queer folk. Or maybe you want the Christianity of the Southern Baptist Convention, which says that Black Lives Matter is a heresy. Or maybe you want the Christianity of the National Baptist Convention that still won't allow women to stand and preach. What Christianity do you want to reign over this land?
I don't want Christianity to reign over the land. I think that Christianity or religion should not be a part of politics. I think if you are religious, you can have your convictions, but I don't believe in that, that Southern strategy and all of that. None of that. I don't. Hey, you keep it out, whether that goes for Trump or Kamala. But I still think you should have your morals, and I think that's what happens to us. We put that Christianity, which is kind of weird. What kind of Christianity do you want? He says. Well, every point that he made kind of wasn't Christian. Queers, abortion. So it seems that we always use Christianity when it benefits us, not when it doesn't. God love him when we want to, and then when it doesn't, we go against it. So I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to give you guys the most updated information when it comes to the Associated Press and where they have the electoral votes currently at 292 versus 224, and what states are red and blue. There's a lot of states that were never red in their lives or red.
I think Vero says, are we gay and it's a sausage fest? Well, if you don't like men and you don't like the opinions of men, you can, what they say, get to stepping. You know, this is a male, from a male perspective. As we said before, a lot of you must be a female because men don't talk like that. We do things from a male perspective, my friend. That's how we look at it, because while we are men, and just how a woman is going to look at her rights, we're going to look at the rights of a man first. Yeah, Ozzy, you are right. It is time for the Democrats to regroup.
Yeah.
I think they've tried to be this umbrella tent, everybody join in. And I think before it may have been working where we say, oh, we want everybody, we want this. And sometimes when you try to make a cake and you put too many ingredients in it, it don't turn out to be a cake. It turns out to be a piece of crap. So I think we have to have some type of policies and say, you know, what something is.
They got 4 years.
So inclusive, we actually started to alienate a lot of people just by the simple questions. When you can't answer, when they go to Congress and say, what is a man? What is a woman? And you're like, that becomes crazy. I mean, because it should be just a simple question. Like, well, a man has these chromosomes, a woman has these chromosomes. Next. But we are so afraid to step on someone's toes. You know, we live in this protected society. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody wins. And when that happens, it really makes us weak. It makes us look weak. Everybody can't win. We are a capitalistic society. And what that is supposed to mean is the best product, the best innovations. Those are the things that win. You don't get participation trophies. You don't get rewarded for just showing up. You have to do something a little bit more. And that's what has happened to us. That's what's happened to Black people, you know, where we used to be innovative and now we think just we show up. We here. What do we get? We got our hand out. Other people, like you said yesterday, Kanal, immigrants come not with their hand out, they come with their hand up. They come in ready to work. When you come from nothing and you see an opportunity, you roll. We didn't roll.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The minute Donald Trump lost the race, one, he didn't acknowledge it. Two, he began his campaign run for this year in 2020. He did not stop campaigning the whole fucking time. This is why he edged out whoever they put in place of Biden, because they've been planning this for 4 years. So it behooved the Democrats at this point to figure out who are going to be their best and brightest to run against the opposition right now and start figuring out what the people want and get some plans together so they can be presented by time whatever catastrophe they feel like Donald Trump is going to do, they'll have solutions to fix them. But if they don't see and have the foresight to do that now, in the next 4 years, it's not going to be any better for the Democrats.
And Kirsty, I think you were incorrect. He says, don't celebrate too hard. The House is still has to be decided. No, they're so weak, man. How many times do they say, look, when the Republicans are in, they just say block everything. We ain't doing it. It ain't a part of what we want to do. We block it. When Democrats in there, it's this compromise.
Yeah. Whoa, if they have a Republican on every House in the Senate. You know how many laws are going to get run through in the first 2 years before it might be in jeopardy for seats that are up for re-election? It's going to be crazy.
So that's the thing. And you're saying Gavin Newsom of California? I hope not, because people who live in California, I know that Bill Maher said that he tried to build a solar outhouse where he was given money. He still didn't complete it after 5 years. Why? Because there were so many regulations that he couldn't get anything done. Tesla was out in California. And what happened? Where did they move to? Texas. Because of the regulation. You just can't get anything done if you over-regulate people, and then everybody has a handout. There was a thing where somebody said it was so crazy. A guy said, "Hey, there's no restroom here. We'd like to help, and don't. How much will it cost?" It was like, "Oh, it should be something simple, like $30,000 to build a restroom for people." And the guy said, "No. By the time you go through all the red tape and everything to get there, that $30,000 is going to cost you $3 million just to build a simple restroom for people because of all the regulations, everything that happened to it." So when you overregulate, you don't have it. High taxes. They had the highest gas prices in the nation. You go there, here's $2.30. You go there, $6 and almost $7. So
what do you guys think of us in the future doing a Project 2025 breakdown? Because everybody's so fearful of this policy that's coming up, and there's so many different things in it.
I think we should have a segment on that, just solely focusing on that, breaking it down piece by piece, and really debunk or rebuttal anything that people have been saying over social media. I'm definitely down for that.
But here's the problem. Is it implemented? Or who's going to implement it? If it's not implemented,
well,
you think it's going to be implemented?
I think it will. Because like I said, that same economic guy, Richard, he did a whole segment on the people that wrote Project 2025. And they consistently consulted with Donald Trump and his team at Mar-a-Lago and Florida. So while Donald Trump can openly say, "Oh, I have nothing to do with it," then why are the people that are consistently writing Project 2025 consulting with your people on your property and can be seen on your property consulting with your people?
Let's say that. I think with Trump, he just is like, whoever think they down with me, I'll talk to him. They're going to stroke his ego. He don't necessarily have to do it.
I mean, guys, I think let's go ahead and have that segment. Let's go and review Project 25 and have an open discussion, because I think there's a lot of assumptions that's being pushed out there, especially social media. People are saying, "Yeah, be afraid of Project 25." What is Project 25? So let's talk about it. Why not?
At least understand it, so if they start to try to implement it, you know what to expect.
Yep,
correct. And all I was saying was, we can't say what it is. It's trying to define what something is that hasn't actually been implemented yet.
Right. It's still pie in the sky until he says, "Oh, by the way, I have this policy. It's been sitting in the back burners and we've been working on it for the last 4 years." Oh, everybody's going to know what that is.
Which gives us more reasons than why we should have a review. Because again, there's a lot of assumptions, and people are constantly throwing the word Project 25, don't even know what it is. So let's go ahead and review it and provide our thoughts.
I think that's going to be good. So we're at 39 minutes. I don't know if you guys want to open up the panel for a few to hit the hour, or are there any other points we need to bring up?
And I think I'm going to use that notebook LM and summarize that 900 page, because it's 900 pages for Project 2025. I'm going to have to use something to just summarize it. I did chat GPT, and it's, I'll give you the quick 5 things that chat GPT said. So government restructuring. So that's downsizing federal agencies, departments, focusing on decentralization. Policy priorities, emphasizing conservative policy goals, stricter immigration controls, limiting environmental regulations. I don't believe in that. Reinforcing law and order. Personnel strategy, developing a network conservative aligned personnel ready to fill federal positions, aiming for a quicker, more seamless implementation of governance. judicial and regulatory reform, advocating for further appointment of conservative judges. We messed up on that. Man, we messed up on that. The Democrats, when I say it, they had their people ready and they shot them. They got them all in. We always think we can wait till next year. Last, I don't believe in this one either. Media and education influence. Because one thing he wants to get rid of, oh, Krusty, you left. What happened, bro? He wants to get rid of NPR. Or he doesn't want to fund NPR. And I think that's...
What is NPR?
National Public Radio.
Okay. So real quick, I had a poll going this whole time. 22 people in my room voted. And the question was, did Kamala disgrace herself for not giving a concession speech? Other people that voted, 82% said yes. 18% said no.
I'd like to know why they think that she didn't disgrace herself. Or is it, do
probably
as they do?
Tit for tat type of thing. Well, Trump didn't do it, so why should she?
Yeah, that's hey, that's how it is.
But like I said, we have at least a little over 15 minutes. If you guys want to come up and chop it up on the policies that might be coming, because it's all hypothetical pie in the sky until January 6th, obviously. Because people can say what they want to say, but you don't know until the man pulls the trigger on when he has the actual reins. And
one thing I do got to give a shout out to is we may not agree with it. We may not be on the same page, but we love this brother's opposing opinions and opinions that he brings to the stage. Oh, Krusty, how you doing, brother? We don't agree on everything, but there are some things that we do agree on. So I will say when things are, I agree. So it ain't. And I just want to let you know, I'm not saying that Trump is the savior, the superhero, the man that's going to save it all. I'm more or less not even saying that people voted for Trump. I think they voted against Kamala. I think that she just didn't do it. So I don't think he was the person. I just think that they felt more disappointed that she didn't have the answers. But go ahead, brother. I'll let you cook.
No, let me first say, Kanal, thank you for the conversation last night. I thought it was a very good conversation, very spirited. Again, I didn't come with any ill will or intent. I just came from a place of understanding, but that I just wanted to say that because I think it was good.
Well,
conversation
on the Lions Den on Friday, we want you to come with some spice. We're gonna have that FBA all things. We're gonna do that at the Lions Den on Friday.
I'm like, I'm FBA, but I don't. I'm for reparations. I don't believe I'm ever gonna get it. I believe in Black Lives Matter, even though I know the people who ran it was fucked up. The idea wasn't. So that's where I try to stand, is with the ideas about things rather than the people. I can't argue the screwed up people that do shit and say shit. They just do. But I just wanted to say that in particular.
Okay, but let's circle back around to this topic today.
I'm going to say, and as to Trump's victory, and I set my ass up way too late, I will say I'm disappointed, but I'm old enough not to be shocked and surprised. We have not reached a post-racial America. We won't in my lifetime. We won't in any of y'all lifetime. We've taken steps in the right direction, but it was a long road to get America to where it did, and really the whole world. And it's going to be probably a longer road to change. So how it came
But is it a racial thing, a misogyny thing, or they just don't want a woman in office?
I will say this. Each of those did play a part, but I really don't think, I think the major part was too many people were disappointed. And I wouldn't even say in Kamala, but in the entire Democratic Party. That's what I really do think. I think she just had a fucked up at bat when she came up, and all of the negatives of the Democratic Party. Yeah, and if you're going to be the nominee, you have to take that shit on. You just do. You can't go, oh, it's not my team. It is your team.
But what she could have done, what if she would have done this? What if she would have came in and said, hey, oh yeah, I was on that team, and as a vice president, my job is to support Biden. I support it.
That was her
That's
job.
his president. But I'm just saying that she says that's his presidency. That won't be my presidency.
Right.
Under my presidency, it will be this, and this. Oh, but you didn't do that with Biden. Of course I didn't do that with Biden because I'm second in command. And what we would do is go into a room and whatever we came up with, he has the final decision. It's his decision and he's president. That doesn't necessarily, I agree with him, but I have to support the decision.
Right.
Under my presidency, it won't be like that. It'll be this, and this. I tried to discuss marijuana with him. He didn't want to bring it. Under my presidency, we're going to do it. I tried to discuss this with him. He didn't do it. But under mine, we're going to do it. Which what she tried to do is toe the line. And when you try to toe the line, that's where the issue came in.
I
It
agree.
It was crazy stuff. Like,
let me add to that one more point. Let me add to that for one more point. The other point was she was assigned the border czar. That was her dictated name. And all this immigration happened during her watch. Now she could have said, look, I fucked up. I made some mistakes. I'm taking action now to correct those mistakes. So when I am the president, I can have my people do a better job.
Yeah,
but she didn't take the onus because women have a worse history of trying to take accountability for fuck ups. That's why she pointed the finger at everybody else, Biden included, instead of taking it upon herself. It's like, you know what? I could have done more as the vice president, especially after saying she had the ear of Biden.
But here's a couple
and she didn't do it.
Here's a couple of things I think that we're leaving on the table. Okay. And I absolutely agree that she should have gave a better answer on what she's going to do differently. She could have done all that stuff and got away with, hey, I'm the vice president. I don't make the final shot. She could have definitely taken account a little bit more. I don't totally put the immigration deal on her, but where I think she also fucked up, y'all, I'm surprised y'all didn't bring up, is the whole Israel-Gaza thing. You'd be surprised at how many people are pro-Palestinian, and that's, that not even so much pro-Palestinian. Even a lot of white Americans are very anti-Semitic. So they're against Israel, Jews, whatever the shit may be. So, but by her towing that line as well, basically saying, I'm going to let them do whatever they want. Now, granted, it's going to get worse under Trump because he definitely going to make it worse. That's her as well. But what I would say is this. Considering all the things that Donald Trump has said and done, I don't give a damn if she was perfect. America was sick and tired of if they could overlook all the shit, and they basically did. Nobody's denying that Trump has said the racist, sexist, misogynist. He owes $500 million to New York because he got forget the sex. He stole fucking money through lying and cheating and was convicted. And they said, fuck it, we don't care. That tells me I don't care how Trump was going to win. He just was, even if he had won by a whisker, he pretty much thrashed her ass. It wasn't a blowout, but it was close to one. And that tells me America wanted their white zaddy back. Fuck y'all with all this political correctness bullshit. And, she did do a lot of things wrong. So I'm not saying that she didn't. I'm saying if she hadn't done those things wrong, he still was going to thrash her ass.
But the only thing, Crusty, there was no difference when you talk about the Palestine and Jew. There was no difference in him. What they just said, he needs to stop. And you're like, well, what you going to do? He just needs to stop. That's why she lost parts of Michigan. Because because the people said, well, damn, Trump going to do the same. You're going to do it. What's the difference between you and him?
Well,
you could have came in and just sat down and said, look, this isn't how it's going to happen.
You know what the problem is, though, Fearless? Is that if I think you my boy and you supposed to do something for me, I know Ronan might be like, fuck you, Rico, but I think you my boy and you don't do it for me, then I feel like, I may not go over there with Ronan, but I'd be like, fuck you too, because you ain't treating me no better. So I think a lot of her voters and supporters set out as well. I think that'll come out later on, like you said, in Michigan. I think that they had, because when they were doing the primary, even with Biden, what was it called? The no confidence vote or whatever. And I think they said in the primary that was 10%, where people voted like neither of the above. They stayed home. They said, I'm tired of Democrats promising me bullshit and fuck you.
Oh, Krusty, I think America likes you when you stand for something. I'll give you an example. When Bush ran the second time and he ran against, I think it was Kerry. Kerry was all over the place. I didn't know what his policies were. Bush just said, this is what we doing. This is how it is. It sounded stupid, but I knew what he was going to do. And I think that's the same when it comes to Trump. People may not like it, but people admire him for saying, this is what it is. This is how I'm going to do it. You apologizing for saying grab her by the punani? Nope. That's my life. You apologize for this. It's like he just says this, and you hear because I think white people, white women, and all of them have felt that some kind of power has been taken away from them. And so when he stands up and says, I'm not apologizing for nothing, they get empowered for that, because they feel that I've had to apologize for slavery. My family was never slaves. I had to apologize for affirmative action. They took my job. I had to apologize to women for doing this. And so they got emboldened to say, I don't have to apologize for nothing no more.
Well,
and it made them strong.
Who I feel sorry for are the minorities in America and that's all, I mean, all minority groups, Asians, Hispanics, Black, because, for example, I'm glad you were like affirmative action. Remember all the Asians sued to have it taken away, and it didn't fucking benefit them like they thought it would.
Backfire.
It almost had the reverse effect, where in a lot of those elite universities, it went down and the white enrollment went up, because they have things like legacy, donation, and so on and so forth. So typically, a lot of times when you overweight the system, which is, let's face it, it is a system of white supremacy. So I tell all minorities, like, look, this system of white supremacy is not a system of white against Black. It's a system of white against all the rest of you motherfuckers. Exactly. That's what you need to understand. It is not, and I think so Hispanics come in and they think, oh, it's the white man against the Black man, so they just want to keep and the Black men are lazy and they don't bought into the stereotype. I'm like, they're going to oppress your fucking ass too. It's just about uplifting because they're scared that the demographics, we're about to become South of Africa, where we're going to be a minority majority controlled country, where the minority of the racial demographic will still be fucking in charge. You better believe they don't have it in 2025. It might be 2028. They are not willing to sit there and slide into the role that we've been in all these fucking years. Not without a fight. They're just not.
All right. So real quick, before Mr. G comes up, welcome to the panel, by the way, Mr. G. I want to make sure that we don't say certain words based on political agendas and everything else that are going on that could cost us to get demonetized or a strike. So please do not use the J word if this is the topic that you're going to bring up. Okay, use a different word. And then also your political affiliation if you voted, but if you're not an American, just state, I did not vote because I'm not an American. And this is my opinion from being outside the country of American views. Go ahead, Mr. G.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah, so I only want to state some things because I noticed what the
Hold on
topic
first.
is.
Are you an American? Are you here in the United States? Did you vote?
Yes.
You don't have to say who you voted for. Okay.
Yeah, I voted. Unlike some people that have a lot of opinions, but they're not voting, which I find to be very, very interesting. Papi Rico, and that's a whole different topic in itself. But I really hope the people that voted for him, including the people that didn't vote for him, I really hope he some of the things that we'd like to see get to happen. I think inflation, prices, grocery prices, gas prices, um, home prices, things are very expensive. A lot of people really, really believe with him in office, these prices are going to go down. Um, I, I'm not an economist. I hope that does happen. Because
Pause
it'll
for one
benefit
second on
everybody.
that. Pause on that statement right there. 1 second. And the reason I want to say this is I have a young man that's over in Thailand right now, and he constantly keeps abreast of what's going on with foreign currency. Do you realize the minute Trump was announced to be the projected winner, our foreign currency gained in value overseas? We actually are making more money overseas now, knowing that Donald Trump is coming into office instantly the minute he was projected as the winner. Did you realize that, Mr. G?
No, I haven't paid attention to that. I'm not surprised
But go
because
ahead and
I'm
continue your statement. I just wanted to add that to the point of where you were talking about with the economy.
yeah, it's with a lot of things too. I didn't follow the stock market today or whatnot. I know I have crypto. I know I've seen, some going up in my crypto portfolio. So that's to be expected though.
They're going to start calling that the Trump effect.
Yeah. But one of the things that if we wanted to be somewhat more virtuous with this whole thing, I think this says a lot to us, and I think seeing brothers, being like, "Oh yeah, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, yeah," like people just roasting people and making a meme out of this whole situation. There are some real things people need to be bringing up because when you have a person who've been convicted for sexual violence, he can be in the office and leader of the free world, and you have a person who made a few mistakes, whether it was selling drugs or even marijuana, and that person every fucking time. That's not me. I have a clean record. I'm not one of these people, but I'm just saying, what kind of sense does it make? Instead of brothers, really starting to think and actually saying, okay, this is what we're going to demand. They need to take a criminal record or criminal check on applications, take them away unless it's certain specific jobs like working with kids. If you were an offender, things of that nature, in some very sensitive places that you may want to work where these things. If brothers don't really push on these kind of things, and I think there should be changes for that. A person who got convicted for sexual violence can be president and lead the free world, but a brother who was cut with a couple of pounds of weed, he got a record and he's been discriminated against, and black men just gonna be happy just because some of us, let's be honest, some of us didn't want a woman to be president, or because or the hot girls or abortion, yada yada. But your criminal record that's stopping you to join this capitalistic ventures in this country to level up. You're not gonna put some agendas on the table. That's a damn shame.
Well, what agendas did she put on the table?
You know she lost, Fearless.
No, I'm just saying previously, but she had to have an agenda.
Okay, but he won. She lost.
She had to go back and forth and come up with several things, multiple things. It's all on her website, and she was not the one that said that I have a concept of a plan. I think at the end of the day, Fearless, if prices go down, it's good for me and you. I'm winning, you winning. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's beyond that. And what really grind my gears is this need for an opponent? Is this need to fight with somebody? Because the goalposts will keep on moving. It's kind of like the dog that cut the car. Now you cut the car. What are you going to do?
But I know that you said
I'm
something about
lost in this
tariffs before.
conversation.
The reason I know you say sometimes tariff don't work, but yes, here's the reason why. If Americans make a television, if there's a television that costs $100 and the Chinese make it at 25, we're always going to buy their products. We're going to go for the $25. If they both cost the same, now we go for quality. It doesn't matter what the cost is because they both cost the same. And then by doing so, that cost may be passed on to the consumer, but now it lowers right now they get 100% of the product that we buy. If we cut it down to 25%, 10%, now at least we're getting the profit and they're not getting it.
No, but see, tariffs don't work, and I'll tell you what he
if
wants.
Tariffs don't work, why does China have tariffs on us?
They have
why do these other
little.
countries have tariffs on us?
It's not that nobody has any tariffs. It's not a zero-sum game, but it's him trying to say, "Oh, I'm gonna put 100%, 1,000%, things like that." Most countries have a like amount of tariffs on particular products as an equalizer. So if they put 20% tariffs on a particular product that they import to the United States, that we import to the United States, if we put a tariff on something, you got to realize we got 330 million Americans. They got a fucking billion Chinese. We sell shit over there too. So
no, but what they do is they take our intellectual property.
Right. But what I'm saying is whatever tariffs that we put on their products, they will put on our products coming into the country. What's the bigger problem for America is when they have these trade imbalances with a lot of countries where we're doing more importing and less exporting. I think what we are a leader in, believe it or not, is we export a lot of energy, i.e. oil, all of the fracking and shit like that, because certain things only certain countries can produce. That's why Saudi Arabia doesn't import any oil, they export that shit. So they end up with trade imbalances with certain countries. And that's where we are with China. We're out of balance with China because we import more shit from China than what we export to China. But America is the world's number one consumer.
Do you remember how the steel used to be? Steel and drywall.
Yes.
We used to say we could get the steel better and cheaper from China, but what we were actually getting was an inferior product.
Steel. Yes.
That was all messed up.
But that's not the Chinese government. That is American businessmen.
Because we always want to buy the cheapest thing.
Right. But see, that's a business decision to outsource to these countries and then complain about the imbalance. It's like you asked for it.
No, but look, if you building a house and you can build a house and your house, because you got to do all the material. So you're doing the drywall, you're doing the steel, you're doing the copper, and you can build that house for $50,000. And I say, I'm going to buy an American product and have to build it. And my cost is $100,000. You can always sell yours way cheaper than I can sell mine. And most people are not going to know the quality behind that house. They're just going to buy the house. So if you say, no, we're not going to do that, both of them cost the same.
So, but then now you take that same $50,000 house, right, that you're buying cheaper for, and now the government comes and says, I'm going to put 100% tariff on it. It's still a $50,000 house, but now it's going to cost me $100,000. Because whatever tariff that the U.S. government put on the materials in that house now gets passed on to me. It's no longer a $50,000 product. So the same way when you said the television, you just increased the price of an inferior product. You increased the price because the companies don't eat that shit. They pass it on to the consumer, period. They do it in the U.S. And you know what the U.S. do it primarily? Through labor costs. If they have to pay more for their employee, they're going to pass that shit on to the consumer. That's where other countries get away with shit is cheaper labor. Not so much product and material, but labor. Because they'll work their motherfuckers to death and don't care. We don't want to do that in America. Tariffs.
And then not just that too, all of the benefits and things of that nature, American employees do require, because we have a higher standard of living and here. So yeah, and over there, some of these places, they don't have 401k, retirement, time off, all the time off, and things of that nature. All of these are cost, right?
Yeah, look at the labor cost in the DR compared to the. I mean, it's different, but you get what you. Everything comes down to you get what you pay for. But also, I would also say you don't have the same level of safety concerns. Saying even in the DR, getting a house built, ain't nobody going around and inspect that shit that they did it right. They just don't have that. So when I bought my house, I had to trust that the motherfucker did it right. But in the U.S., no, they have, but it costs more for that.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to have insurance,
No.
home insurance in DR?
No.
See?
No, you don't. Now, maybe if you got a mortgage, but if you don't have a mortgage, matter of fact, I'm having a hard time getting insurance, trying to find, because I think they'll insure, one will insure the contents, the shit in the house. I don't think there's I'm trying to find out, like, they don't do like the US where it insures the structure and the contents. Like I got homeowners insurance here. It's the house and the shit in it. Over there, I think it's like two different policies, and you have to say the contents or the structure, and there is no inspection of whether or not shit is done right. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So, no insurance works the same as being in America. Believe me, I can buy household insurance in the Philippines. It's not going to cover everything in my house. Just like auto insurance is not going to cover the full cost of my auto if I got in an accident and totaled my brand new car that I brought over there. The insurance is really skewed in foreign countries. That's why we encourage a lot of gentlemen to, when they travel, buy travel insurance for their health, because they will still get caught with having to come up with something out of their pocket to even sometimes go into a hospital. But we're way off topic. This is a hit and run show, so we're at an hour and 7 minutes. So we're gonna call this live end.
Before you land, I don't know if you guys highlighted that, because I was somewhere on social media and I saw that. Because according to your topic, you guys may want to look this up. The black support for Trump in 2020 and the black support of Trump in 2024.
It didn't vary. I did show it.
So
it did not vary. It was the same as in 2020.
Latinos actually helped him out more.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
but then,
Ron, we just wanted to give you guys a lunchtime snack, a munchy and crunchy and go, as Kamala would say. She had a fun time having her thing out there.
Well, that picture don't look like she's having too much fun. She couldn't even say goodbye to everybody that helped her out. That's some sad situations, bro.
Couldn't say goodbye.
Well, I tell you what, do me a favor. Let me know when the House gets settled, because again, like I said, that can completely change a lot of things, because it'll be divided government. If he has unified government, enjoy these 2 years. Y'all can have a fucking ball. And then at that, he's gonna run roughshod. I don't see why he wouldn't. He'll say, fuck y'all. He's gonna be giving us the bird every day, grabbing bitches by the pussy, doing whatever he want. And he can't run for office again, so he has no reason to try to appeal. He can't run anymore.
Rico, especially with recent Supreme Court decision on official action, which is almost like a blank check. It's gonna be very interesting, and I wish I was a comedian, because comedians gonna get a lot of work, a lot of content, and the online people, content creators, grifters, I guess they're gonna make a lot of money, so I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen.
Tune in Friday. We're going to have the FBA show. So the FBAs versus the Tethers. Friday night. the tether.
You look a little bit like Enrique Tario. You one of them Proud Boys now?
Who, me?
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so he ready to be a
You done
Proud
changed
Boy?
your affiliation this fast? God damn it. Just 8 hours ago, goddamn Trump won.
Hey, last night. After last night, you said your people
within
own
8
us.
hours, he done changed his affiliation. He a Proud Boy now.
Oh, man, now I'm a Proud Boy. You know, hey, I got to stay where I can survive. You know, I got to, as they say, we passing, baby. We passing over here.
All you need is a MAGA hat.
That's right. But Friday, guys, the Lions Den. We're gonna have the FDAs versus the Tethers. Please, please tune in. No, I am a proud man, but I'm not a proud boy.
Hey everyone.
Canal's going to form his own team. Whoever he's going to bring on for his Tethers.
I'm currently recruiting, guys. I need Mr. G, Buck Travel. I'm reaching out, man. Listen, we need to come together and form a Voltron on these asses, man. It's like, yo, we need to come correct, man. They tried to jump on me yesterday, but guess what? Friday, I'm gonna have my gummy. I'm gonna have my wine. So I'm coming with that smoke, man. So hey, let's do it. I'm looking for other immigrants, black immigrants out there that want to come and join the good fight. Come join us Friday, man. We have to look at it.
Get with Trini.
Oh yeah, Trini. Oh yeah. Okay.
Do your homework. I say do your homework. Don't come ill prepared.
I'm gonna come prepared. Okay. Hey guys, just keep in mind we're gonna keep it respectful, man. Nothing personal.
Yeah, no. I think it'll be a good understanding, and we can clear the air on both sides. I didn't even like it being too contentious last night because that wasn't my energy. But I understand sometimes it gets, we all get passionate. So, but again, like I said, I appreciate the conversation.
It's like an old lady trying to say goodbye to their grandson. We're gonna drug this out for a whole nother 12 minutes. We gotta go.
All right, fellas.
Get this shit off,
Yes, sir.
Yo, welcome to the Lunchtime Special Podcast, Hit and Run, hosted by your two favorite heavy hitters, Ronan and Fearless. This is where real talk meets real life as these two powerhouses break down the latest in entertainment, travel, relationships, and finance. You know it's going to be raw, unfiltered, and straight up blunt. When these two get together, you better believe truth bombs are dropping and bars are being laid down. So grab your lunch, settle in, and get ready for 60 minutes of pure fire storytelling and hard-hitting insight on the events of today from their point of view. Buckle up, folks, sit down and grab your lunch. It's about to get real.